This is The Strange Recital, a podcast about fiction which questions the nature of reality.
He cracked open the Bud Tallboy. He spit onto the tracks. His train was coming. He had a story. He had no ticket. There was no telling how far he could go. On board was a conductor, an artist. The conductor could paint a picture using his ticket punch as a brush, a ticket to Grand Central his canvas. He illustrated colorful stories for free. Lichtenberg figures, arborescent in appearance, covered his skin. A pin oak in winter on his back, burnt capillaries, maple and birch, branch-like patterns down his arms and legs, the big toe on his left foot marked with a bullet-like exit wound. He swilled some beer, wiped his mouth on his sleeve. The platform was becoming insufferable. Electricity, his mortal enemy, was wildly present, humming and buzzing incessantly. He had been wronged by electricity. He took a long pull on the beer in his hand, the paper bag already wrinkled and wet with spillage. Where was that fucking train? 11,000 volts coursing through overhead wires. There was a grounding strap on the frame of an advertisement to his left, a Broadway show featuring dancing sailors, fragments of everything he used to know. Talk about a boy, talk about a girl. It was 65 degrees. He was wearing a down jacket. He had been subjected to experiments involving something called the TL50 brainwave stimulator, a lightning strike to the temple. The idea behind the device was to evoke some type of parallel consciousness. It was rumored that one of the subjects had exited the trials as a concert pianist, though he had never before played a note. He, on the other hand, emerged as a conductor, an artist. Following the application of the voltage, he had found himself possessed with the ability to hear color, the sound of color. Painting became obsession. In his painting, colors spoke, rods and cones processing as they had in childhood. Saturation and hue, volume and pitch, major and minor color. His masterpiece, surrealist painting with sound. He painted as heard in his mind. It was automatic. Vermeerian technique, channeling Magritte and Dali. The platform was humming harder. Another lukewarm tallboy was drawn from a greasy bag. He was a little unsteady. His ankle didn't hinge as it had once before. A screaming ruin on the horizon, a bone-littered landscape. Celebrated female form, auburn delta and stone-like skin. He heard the click of a distant switch somewhere down the line. Sound. In his apartment, he had pushed the furniture aside and stretched a huge canvas. He mixed pigment as a chemist with a piano tuner's ear. Familiar specter drew him in, the colors speaking in tongues. Without resistance, he could step inside the canvas and have a look around. Carrying palette and brushes, he did as he was told, each foray a little deeper, surpassing the depths of his own perception. 2 years on the easel. When finished, there was nothing to do but show it. All the people he used to know were gone. There was no gallery show forthcoming. He had a painting, he had no patrons. In a moment of weakness, he invited the girl from the coffee shop to view the painting. The girl with the blue eyes filled with shards of broken glass, the girl with brown eyes and beautiful smile. She came over expecting a make-out session at best, a rape at worst. He didn't come across as a murderer. She sits in front of the painting, views beautiful woman as herself, realistically rendered at first glance. Whispering music beckons, leaning forward as one might listen for final words, She falls. Bruises appear in daylight. His cappuccino is free. Apologizing for the previous evening's performance, she requests another look at the painting. She leaves with some bruises, trace of color. Adherent coating on her shoes, a low, moaning reminder to return. A paint chip flake of a stone absent-mindedly slipped into her pocket, a whispering souvenir. On the platform, everything was beginning to glow. Future passengers on the eastbound side wore screaming, burning auras. He wanted nothing more than to step onto the last car of that train and ride in relative silence. He had $65 tucked into his sock and half a pint of warm beer. He spit onto the tracks. It would have been easier to knock a needle from a man's hand than to keep her away from the painting. He watches her, sitting before the painting. Lovely young woman, cute little shape. She approaches a Spanish galleon, a dry land shipwreck in full sail, the splintered hull spilling a cargo of watch parts onto the ground. She climbs aboard the listing vessel and is immediately tied to the mast by a thin figure made of smoke. A green apple in a cage sings a soulful, core-felt song just for her. She leaves the apartment with rope burns on her wrists, apologizes for staying so long, though she has barely stayed a minute. The other lovely baristas eye him warily as she speaks of wonders and treasures, earth tones and roundness, long shadows with no discernible sun. Her quest was to reach the clear-running stream that she could see in the distance, the stream's prismatic surface refracting color and sound. She was unfazed that objects and landscape features often got smaller as she approached. She would reach the stream. Emergency services would find her, lungs filled with water, a victim of drowning, sitting before the painting. Timeline skewed and foreshortened, a dot viewed from the end. He stepped forward, then back before teetering headlong onto the track. His train was coming. Train delay. Police report states, unidentified man lost, $65.
That was Transit Authority, written and read by John Montgomery. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's me, Tom Newton.
I told you never to call me here. Shit. What time is it?
3 o'clock.
In the morning?
No, afternoon.
Look, this isn't a good time. I have some people over.
I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about your story, Transit Authority.
Now is not good.
If you could just take a few moments to talk about the process.
Listen, I've been trying to recreate, that feeling, that moment when everything goes black, but there is absolute clarity. You know what I mean? Oh, shit. Hey, have you ever administered an adrenaline shot? I have this long needle, but I'm afraid it will glance off of a rib and break.
That may be just a movie prop.
You may be right. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, centipede.
Are you all right?
Hey, I'm coming up there to see you.
We scheduled an interview with John Montgomery about his story, Transit Authority. Apparently, he walked up here from the city, sleeping in people's gardens along the way and stealing food. He was arrested while trying to climb a high-voltage pylon. He told the police that he was addicted to electricity. He's now being held in the Ulster County Jail. Brent went down there to talk to him.
Hello, John.
Centipedes.
It's awkward looking at you through glass and talking to you on the phone. Is that what they call FaceTime? Well, we'll just have to improvise. Are you okay? Is there anything I can do?
Hundreds of them hanging from the ceiling.
Do you have a lawyer?
3.
3 lawyers?
3. Twisted together.
It seems a bit draconian putting you in this place. There must be somewhere better, more helpful.
That machine.
What machine?
Where is it?
I really don't know what machine you're talking about.
I know you. You were trying to help me. The other guy, the Englishman, where is he? He said double it. I remember now. Son of a bitch. The ears have wanting, a music of words, 60 seconds of darkness to find them. Curled photograph and wizened finger. It's right there. There were uniforms and yelling. It's so obvious. But there are unfamiliar shapes. You know what I mean, Brad?
Brent.
Yes?
No, I'm Brent.
Suit yourself, but I do know my own name, despite what they're saying about me.
Who?
Them. I do not like this hotel, not one bit. There's this bank of phones in the lobby, and that's it. I can't even pay for this flea bag, but instead of throwing me out, they're keeping me. Hot water, scald upon flushing, elevator, ice machine, loud banging nightly. I don't get it.
So what happened?
You know what I mean?
I've no idea. What do you mean?
There's an eel in your pocket. A sliver of chance, a conger. It's talking to me. It's laughing.
Tom said you got arrested while climbing an electric pylon, that you walked all the way from New York.
Where's his mouth anyway? That's a cruel man. Heartless. The electrodes. Can you get your hands on them?
You know, I came down here to talk to you about your story. The circumstances are unfortunate, but do you feel like talking about it?
I do business with supposition these days. It's all the other way around, Brad. I'm on the other side now.
Well, I think maybe this interview is not working out. I'll have to come back at another time.
Another time? There's only one time as far as I know. Do you have a Van de Graaff generator on you? Tesla coil?
Is there anyone that can help you? Anyone you want us to contact?
There was a low-lying lizard. It ate everything it could. There's no fucking cigarette machine in this lobby.
Attention. Visiting hours are now over. Visitors will please exit immediately.
Okay, I'll be in touch. See you, John.
Hey, where do you think you're going?
Visiting hours are over, so I was just...
Stop. Up against the wall.
But I'm a visitor, and I was just...
Right, pal. You can imagine you're a visitor if you like, but you still have to go back to your cell.
No, that's backwards. I'm not a prisoner here. Tell him, John. John!
You could shout all you want. He can't hear you. That's what the glass is for. Now get going.
But wait.
Now don't give me any crap. Your visitor is leaving. Turn your ass around and march. Back that way. Move it.
You can't do this. I'm not a prisoner here.
All right, Robinson. I know you like to play this little game and pretend you're the one on the outside, but it's getting tired. It's over. You've got the most fucked up visitors. That mask-wearing woman's not allowed back. And who's this freak that was just here, screaming about centipedes? I thought he was the exterminator. He just left in a limo. You want to talk to the walls, pal. Keep moving.
This is the strange recital. Our website is thestrangerecital.com. The music on this episode was some piano tinkling played by Felix, my cat. He's quite comfortable on the keyboard and seems to like 12-tone music. You also heard Cop Show by XJ5000. We're hoping to get Brent out soon. We've got someone working on it. Not cheap, but at least things will get back to normal. Maybe. This is episode 17082.